Authority. If you have a cell phone, please silence it. This is a regular meeting of the members of the State Liquor Authority. Today is December 22nd, 2016. Present today are Chairman Bradley, Commissioner Ford, from Counsel's Office, Associate Counsel Morsico, Deputy Commissioner Licensing Held, and myself, the Secretary to the Authority, Donahue. The next meetings of the Authority will be January 4th, 2017, January 19th, 2017. When your item is called, please come up to the microphone, speak clearly into the microphone, and please announce your appearance before you get started. The first item, we're going to start, well, there's nobody in Buffalo, nobody in Albany, so we're going to start in New York City. And the first item is a request for a summary suspension order from Counsel's Office. It's item 2770 on the calendar. It is Old Blackthorn Inn Incorporated.
Yes. Good morning, Commissioner Ford and Chairman Bradley. I am Jared Lacertosa, an Excelsior Fellow Attorney with the Office of Counsel here at the Liquor Authority, and I submit this proposal for an emergency order, summary order of suspension for Old Blackthorn Inn doing business as Cannon's Blackthorn at 49 North Village Avenue in Rockville Center, New York, license number 1017099. We submit this for your consideration based on new information that has come to light from the Rockville Center Police Department. By way of background, this is an on-premise license that had been licensed since 1998, and over the past, since January of 2015, according to information from the Rockville Center Police Department, they have responded to this premise approximately 75 unique times, and I want to briefly direct your attention to 3 specific incidences over the last several months. On September 24th of this year, 2016, at approximately 2 a.m., 2 group of male patrons got into a verbal altercation inside the establishment. During the course of that altercation, it escalated to physical violence. An individual was hit over the head with a beer bottle, sustaining lacerations to his face, which resulted in 70 stitches, as well as the issuing of a summons to the licensee, Stephen Fleming, the owner and licensee of the premise. The assailant fled and was not stopped by security. On September 25th of 2016, so just a day later, at approximately 3:30 a.m., 5 Rockville Center Police Department officers responded to an anonymous 911 call of a large fight and disturbance in the rear of the premise. After arriving on the scene, officers observed approximately 12 individuals shouting, yelling, and attempting to make their way into the establishment. Police officers observed that there were approximately 10 security guards blocking the rear entrance of the establishment, preventing the patrons from getting in. Rockville Center PD, which I must note has very limited resources, had to call for reinforcements from Nassau County PD as well as Lynbrook PD. It took them over 20 minutes to disperse the crowd and to maintain order. 1 individual was arrested for criminal mischief after breaking the windshield of a parked vehicle, and subsequent investigation found that the altercation began inside and then spilled to the outdoor area of the premise. A disorderly summons was issued to the manager of the premise, Leon Sciascia. And then the final incident I want to direct your attention to occurred on December 16th, so not even 1 week ago, at approximately 12:40 a.m., where 2 patrons inside were assaulted by security, and during that assault, one of those individuals was struck in the face by a knee from one of the bouncers, and he sustained dental injuries resulting in the injury to a tooth. Again, a disorderly summons was issued to the manager of the premise, Leon Sciascia. So what you have here is, not counting the most recent incidences that Rockville Center PD has responded to, 75 other incidences. So this premise is clearly a focal point for police activity. I must note that it fails to conform to the application in that they are not even supposed to have security according to their method of operation, nor are they supposed to have a manager. Subsequent to the September 2016 incidences, Rockville Center PD conducted a inspection of the premise, and they found there were several unlicensed security guards, as well as building code violations, and they were unable to produce books and records of transactions. So it is clear that under Section 4013 of the State Administrative Procedure Act, this agency has a rational determination to find that this premise is a threat to the public safety and welfare, and we ask that you issue an emergency summary suspension accordingly.
Thank you, counsel. You say 75 incidents this year.
Since January of 2015, of last year.
Oh, 2 years. Do you have any idea what their record was like before then? If they've been in operation since 1998, has this been continuing, or has this been an escalation, a peak, so to speak?
What I can tell you, Commissioner Ford, is that there have been some number of changes in the Rockville Center Police Department, wherein we are now receiving these referrals on a much quicker manner. And I do not have the information on previous to January of 2015, but as exhibit, I believe that's exhibit 5 in front of you, the police blotter indicates that since January of last year, there have been incidences of assaults, disorderly premise, intoxicated patrons acting erratically, which have required police responses.
There is a prior history.
Is in the most recent incident, did anyone get arrested?
On September 25th,
December 16th, where the security guard.
I don't believe there were any arrests for that, Chairman Bradley. There were no arrests. However, there was a disorderly premise citation issued to the manager of the premise.
And how are the police getting called? Is the establishment calling them, or are they receiving information from outside of it?
I don't have that information, Mr. Chairman. The police referrals don't indicate who placed these 911 calls, though. For the September 25th incident, it was anonymous, where the caller did not leave their name or contact information.
Okay.
Commissioner Ford? Yes, just, the disciplinary history includes sale to minors in July 2011, a disorderly premises in July 2011, and a sale to minor in September 2011.
That's it.
That's it.
And I will note that, of course, these incidences will be handled on an expedited fashion pursuant to the State Administrative Procedure Act by Attorney Amarato, Associate Counsel Amarato.
I got nothing. Yep.
I vote to summarily suspend based on the fact that they are becoming a drain on police resources to the point that they have to call in additional police departments to handle it. 75 times in, 2 years? Less than 2 years?
Less than 2 years.
That seems to be pretty extreme, so I vote to summarily suspend.
I vote to summarily suspend as well. And just in the last 2 months, it's clear that the situation is escalating to the extent that someone is liable to get severely hurt. Obviously, there's already been people hurt. Since late September up until a week ago, it's obvious that there's a number of incidents and that there's a complete lack of control of the premises to the extent that the public safety, health, and welfare requires emergency suspension at this time. So I vote to summarily suspend.
Thank you very much.
Just check. I thought I saw somebody in Albany. We'll proceed with the New York City calendar. The next item, 2741, Flex Ventures, LLC.
Morning, everyone. Just for the record, it was FLX Ventures. This is Robert Romano. I'm here with Mike Meller of FLX Ventures, LLC. We're here before you to get your approval of a off-premises liquor store in Auburn, New York. We've made a submission previous, which indicates that this store is to be located in the downtown area of Auburn, which is an up-and-coming gentrifying area that is called the East Hill District. They're working in conjunction with the mayor's office and the Business Improvement District to create an area of approximately 30-plus stores that will have a critical mass of,
So just,
I mean,
I'm just going to cut to the chase here. The closest store is 0.3 miles away. What is he going to be doing that's different?
Well, a couple
And
of-
granted, I realize he's in a business district
Right.
himself, which is separate, but I
trying
kind of want to
be
hear
as
his,
brief as I can. It's on the other side of the tracks. You've got a 4-lane, high-speed road, arterial highway, is it called arterial? And this store is on the other side. The two stores on the other side, and we have a picture of one of them, they're shack. One of them is a shack, basically. This is going to be a high-end in a renovated townhouse, brownstone. His product line is going to be unique. It is very, very high-end items that will cater to the aficionados, connoisseurs, I say. Small batch distilleries, New York, very large stress on New York products, both wine and spirits. I know we can.
And ciders.
And ciders. He's going to be selling products that are not available not only in the city, but in the general area.
Your store is proposed to be located at corridor you're talking about, it's Route 5. And it's a median in between the east and west. You're on the south side of it.
Yes.
The closest competitor, Auburn Discount Liquor, is just on the north side of that. It's literally within, I mean, you could walk there probably in 2 minutes or less.
Well,
Well, you could walk there in 5 minutes probably, but you would have to cross 4 lanes of highway. It's a fairly dramatic definition between the two areas.
have you been in Auburn Discount Liquor?
Yes.
And are they doing anything close to what you're talking about doing?
No, not even close.
What about tastings and things? Are you going to be doing that?
Yes.
Of what, can you just elaborate on that a little bit?
I don't know what days yet, but I'm guessing probably Fridays. We'll do a weekly tasting, and it'll feature unique wines that aren't available in the market as of now anyways.
And you're focusing on all the local manufacturers as well?
Yeah, I mean, we want to promote New York State product as much as we can. The wineries, the cideries, craft distilleries. I'm thinking that probably most of it will be the Finger Lakes area products, but we'll be using Long Island, Ontario County wineries, some of the craft distillers that are in Brooklyn and the Bronx now. So it'll be New York, although Finger Lakes.
Is this business area you're in, is it a walking area?
Yes.
That like a downtown area that people tend to?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, there's a walking trail, a greenway being put in now that has to go by our shop. On the river.
Okay. All right, I'm ready.
You know, I'd be inclined to deny based on your proximity, but because you have letters of support from Auburn and Downtown Association, and your commitment to promote New York State products, Finger Lakes region, I'm going to vote to approve.
I'll vote to approve as well based on the business model you propose. It's the closest competitor is a discount liquor store, which is 5,000 square feet, and what you're proposing is significantly smaller than that and has a focus on craft manufacturers. I noticed that we only got responses from 3 of the 4 closest stores. 2 of the 4 closest, their sales have gone up significantly in the last 4 years. And your competitor has over $4 million in sales, so or your closest competitor. So I'm going to vote to approve.
thank you
One
very much.
question I meant to ask you. You said 1,000 square feet. How much of that are you devoting to retail and how much
I
storage?
think somewhere between 700 and 800 square feet is retail. The rest will be a little bit of office. Probably do some.
The bathroom.
Yeah, the bathroom as well.
All right.
And some tasting area as well.
I'm not looking to put a stipulation on your size. I was
Okay.
just curious. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a happy holiday.
You too.
All right, we're going to stay in New York City. The next item is 27.
Was there anybody up in Albany or Buffalo regarding this?
There's no one in
No,
Buffalo.
there's no one present in Buffalo.
Okay.
And we have,
I thought you
The next item in New York is 2769 Bracco's Clam and Oyster Bar, Inc.
Martin Mailer of Mail of Yosemite. Before we get into it, I wish everybody up there a very happy holiday, and we all have a nice New Year's and a better year next year. Having said that, we are now here for something that's been pending for over 4 months. Back in the end of August of 2016, the board summarily suspended this license. There were extensive hearings after that summary suspension. Of the 27 original charges, the authority voluntarily withdrew about 7 or 8 charges. The ALJ did not sustain a number of charges, which left 11 charges that were sustained, 7 of which were technical in nature. I was not their attorney up until the summary suspension. And I assure you that if the board deems that this license should be returned, I will be immediately filing a change in method of operation to update what was submitted back in 2006. Those technical violations were inadvertent. They have all the requisite permits from the village of Freeport, so they thought they could dance because they have the cabaret license. They have all the licenses necessary to do what they did.
Except ours.
No, yes, but I mean, for example, they were accused of having 20 security guards on the evening of August 6th, and it only said 2. That was a combined effort of both the village of Freeport and the Braccos wanting to maintain order on August 6th, which they did. There was an appearance by an artist by the name of 50 Cent. By all accounts, the police accounts, our accounts, nothing untoward happened while 50 Cent was on the premises. 2 hours after he left, things started to happen. None of them happening inside of Bracco's. I mean, we're standing.
Well, I see that, and I've read the decision, and obviously I've been following this because I voted on the summary suspension, and that I think is debatable. I mean, I realize you don't agree with it, but there is evidence that there were bottles being thrown over the fence from Bracco's during the police encounter. I realize Bracco's had nothing to do with the police encounter out in the street.
That's exactly
But
right.
they did heighten the situation. It was their customers, not to mention that they were well beyond their hours of operation. You call it a technical violation, but that event happened at 1 o'clock, right?
Yes,
And they're supposed to be shut at 12.
I'm not. I didn't.
Well, see,
include-
this is where I disagreed with you, and in that you're calling them technical violations, and I guess if we had caught them during an inspection, they are technical violations. But because of every one of those technical violations, the events that occurred that night were allowed to occur. The live music and the promotion of 50 Cent being there, the open past hours, I mean, I can go on and on, but that's the facts.
Mr. Chairman, look. We put this all on the transcript. I mean, the ALJ did what he did. I can go I in a very extensive controversion.
I read that too, and I disagree with it.
Well, whatever it is, at this point, they've been closed for 4 months. 50 people are out of work because of this, or most of the people are out of work because of this. As you know, because there was a private meeting that we had with the mayor of Freeport and yourself. Freeport is on board, given the changes that Bracco is making to the premises. And I would ask, in terms of mitigation, that they've served 4 months. They have not been allowed to traffic in alcohol. They have not trafficked in alcohol. They've suffered tremendously financially as a result of this. They are going to change certain things that go on at Bracco's. The village of Freeport has.
Well, here's, and I don't know where, I have not obviously spoken to Commissioner Ford on this, but here's my thinking. Jackie, is this a restaurant?
Yes, it still is a restaurant. 70-80% of what they do is food.
Because I came in here today prepared to cancel this. And knowing and you're probably going in the direction, I know where you're heading with it anyway. So.
I mean, don't, because I'm standing up here, don't.
No, it would be anybody if I canceled it. I realize that.
Okay.
But based on what I've seen, at least after a certain hour of the evening, they're not operating as a restaurant anymore. And they're doing that beyond what they ever told us they would do, meaning that there is clearly live music events there. Whether it's part of this case or not, it's obvious to me that they have a stage outside. They're open past 12 o'clock, which to us, they told us they'd be shut at 12 o'clock. They have significant amounts of security guards where they told us they would have 2.
With all due respect, that was because they had a meeting with the Village of Freeport.
Well, that's irrelevant to me because of what happened after that meeting. They built a sandpit area, even though we told them you couldn't serve alcohol in there, and I realize you disagree with it, but there is evidence that there was alcohol being served there anyway, at least in the hearing.
Well, again.
Well, they denied it. The cops said that they've seen it. So, you show a case that says that just because they denied it, that's enough. To me, it's not.
No, it wasn't that.
The point I'm making here is I'm willing to turn this back into a restaurant.
Which is what it is.
Well, then that means they're going to have no DJ. They're going to have no live music. They're going to have no dancing. They can have background music and become a restaurant. Or we can go down the road that I came in here prepared to do.
I hear what you're saying.
What the town came up with, having met with them myself, was not sufficient to me, given what occurred here. And I realized they probably didn't know 50 Cent was going to sing. But the bottom line was they did nothing to stop it. He got up there and sang, and their response was, well, what was I supposed to do? Well, it's your freaking restaurant.
Again, I really can't go into the facts in great detail because your rules prevent me from doing that. But this is the Village of Freeport. This is the Nautical Mile. This is what every establishment does on the Nautical Mile during the summer.
If they all came in here with these charges, they're going to end up in the same place this guy is.
But see,
that's the point I'm making. The fact that they do it isn't, and I haven't seen their applications, but I know the application that was filed with us did not indicate that this stuff was going to go on. And the application that we have is pretty specific, that if you're going to have this type of activity, we should know about it. Now, whether they missed that or not is not really relevant to me because it went on already, and people got hurt.
Okay. When you say people got hurt.
Well, the cop got hurt.
2 cops got hurt because they tackled somebody and got hurt while they tackled somebody.
Yeah, but the people that were in their restaurant were throwing things at them.
No, first of all.
When they weren't supposed to be open.
Well, assuming arguendo, there was a bottle, and I can dispute that, and I'm not going to for purposes of what I'm about to say.
Well, were they open when this went on?
The place was closing down.
At 1 o'clock. It's supposed to be closed at 12.
The facts of the case are, truthfully, because body cams show it, there were a number of people on the Nautical Mile, which is a normal occurrence on a Saturday night.
I didn't ask that. I said, were they open at 1 o'clock?
They were closed.
When this occurred.
In a sense, they were.
Were there still
but they
people
were
there?
closing down. People were still there, but
Well,
they were filing out. It was an unusual evening because.
So, I mean, that's where I'm at. I don't know where you are. And I don't know whether they're willing to do it, but that's what if they want a license back, they're going to operate like a restaurant. Because that's what they told us they were going to be. You want to file something to change that, in the future, obviously you're going to be able to do that, but it's going to have to go through me.
I hear you. If the town is, we'd have to go to the town as well, and speak to them. And
well, they're clearly on board with much less than I'm suggesting anyway. Because based on the meeting I had with them, they're not. Well, they're on board with the live music outside and all of it. I'm not at this point.
All right, I hear what you're saying. I at this point, to keep the license, obviously, I will counsel them a certain way, but you're going to make your ruling, and
Oh, I don't know what his is.
I understand.
I got to tell you, I was prepared to say end of the road too today. That was my thoughts here, but this has just been a clear pattern of violations. You have someone like 50 Cent there. I don't know, what do you expect to happen, But every time I hear that guy's name, it's not associated with anything good. So I'm going to go along and I'm going to concur with the chairman here. You want to limit it to, just being a restaurant, a real restaurant, then that's something that maybe we will approve. Otherwise than that, I'm out of here.
I hear you. Take one thing. Yeah, all right, well, I've just heard
Well, that, and then there's obviously a monetary angle on this as well. I'm just saying if if he wants the license, that's where I am.
they just said, take it. I don't know what the monetary angle is. I mean, they have been closed for 4 months. They have lost over $1 million and million and
Well,
a half.
see, I don't see that closure as punishment. I see it as the fact that you weren't running the way we were led to believe you would be running, so I couldn't let you run. So I mean, I'll take, what is there, 11 charges? 20
Before, may
Yeah.
Michael Bracco say something?
I just want to say something real
Okay,
quick.
okay, over here. This is Michael Bracco.
I'm Michael Brocco, I'm the older brother. With all due respect with the board and you guys, I don't want to use this as an excuse, but having Marty here and learning the process, and it's on us, I get that, but the council we had prior to this with the applications, we have had a business there in a generation for over 30, 40 years.
And that's
third
the only,
generation. And
that's
I'm-
the only reason I'm not shutting it.
Okay, and I don't mean to be disrespectful one bit whatsoever, and it's on us, and we have to learn this, and I get that. The council we got before with the amended type of applications, we were in the dark with that. It's our responsibility, I get that. I'm taking full responsibility for that. When Marty showed up and we start to learn this process and through his guidance, and definitely with you guys, we want to make the right decisions, and it's a small summertime area for 5 or 6 months where the competition on the street all has type of live music. We're all for the restaurant. That's our roots. That's what we believe in. I'm just saying to put that type of restriction on, while yes, the application is on us, and we should have done things way better. The council we got was really poor, and I don't want to throw them under the bus because it is our responsibility, but learning through this is a process that I'm learning through too.
I didn't,
So,
he can apply, and I'm sure he's told you this, he can apply, and he was going to apply anyway, to put all of this on your application where it should be.
Right, yeah, 100%.
So we're going to have this conversation again, but it's going to let you put everything in place so that at least you can prove to me that you're going to be able to do what you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
And you have 7 months to do that.
Yes.
So,
And just so the
or
record,
6
and
months,
just for
whatever
the
it is.
record, to shows, like, the events of that night, it was what it was, and nobody got hurt. There was no one seriously injured. There was not even one fight, to say an altercation. And our track record and history for the mass of people that come down for the summertime area, not just our place, but all places on that block, we do a very diligent job where we had minor and small things to come in front of this board. I just want to keep that on the record.
you
where
do-
this isn't a pattern where we just blatantly want to throw it in your face and the Freeport Village
no, but
face.
over the as Commissioner Ford pointed out, you have been open a long time.
Long time,
Yeah,
yes.
but over the last 3 years, you do have a pattern.
Yeah, but I mean, nothing egregious to the point
Well, I
of where
mean, to me-
people have gotten hurt or anything
No,
type of
not
serious
her, but
happened.
you have you have disorderly premises twice in 2014 and again in 2015. So that is the stuff that I'm concerned about.
I
And
mean,
then you have it again now.
I do cry for leniency for this one point. This has been a major education, and for my word of who I am, there will never, ever be something like this down on the nautical mile ever again. This process has been trying on all of our families and everybody, and we want to just do the right thing here. Because we believe in what we do as a family. We're not some rogue people. We all live in the village. My children, everybody is in that town, and that's why we believe the live music thing is part of the atmosphere of everyone. By shutting that down for us
No,
now.
I'm not shutting it down. You're not allowed to have it right now.
I understand that, but I'm just saying, just so we're on the same page, we are going to do a much better job of cleaning everything up, and any minor altercations or application things Marty is handling, we're going to do everything by the book, to the code, to the number. You have my word on that. That being said, the rest of the street with the live music, that is the draw. So yes, we can operate as a restaurant, but it's just such a small seasonal place. It's very hard to do a full year out of there, just so everybody knows that. And once again, I want to thank everybody for their time, and I apologize for anything from that night and that incident. I'm glad nothing majorly wrong happened, and we realize we take responsibility for what happened, and we've lived through the last 4 or 5 months. It's been very trying time. Sorry. Thank you for your time.
So I'm looking at 20,000 on top of it.
I would argue that that's a little much, but I'm in no position.
And the only reason it's that high is because of the last 2 years of the disorderly premises.
If I may, and I don't want to make excuses again based on prior council advice, but they took pleas at times they shouldn't have. neither here nor
Well,
there.
that's before my time as well, so.
But, okay, I understand that, I understand what you're saying, but I still think.
And they were pretty good pleas, based on the dollar amount, so I don't know that they shouldn't have taken them, but.
They shouldn't have been first.
I know, I'm sure you would have been more expensive, let me put it that way.
No, I would have tried to agree with that.
So I'm sustaining 1, 2, and 3. Do I have to withdraw the ones we withdrew, or are they already done, Tom?
No, they're withdrawn. So you
Okay,
you just
so-
had the ones that are sustained and not sustained.
So sustaining charge 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, dismissing 7, 8, and 9, sustaining 12, dismissing 13 and 14, sustaining 17, dismissing 19, sustaining 20, 21, 22, dismissing 23, sustaining 24, and dismissing 27. And they're to operate as a restaurant, close at 12 o'clock, no DJ, and then obviously the live music is not on the application now, so it shouldn't be happening. No promoters, and 20,000.
Okay. Just for the record, DJ was on the application.
No, I know,
Oh, you're just
they're
taking-
agreeing to take, that's
take it
what he
off?
has to agree to, say no DJ.
All right, so that is,
Under those terms, are you saying too that they can come back?
Oh, yeah, he's going to apply, yeah.
All right. Rather than repeat everything the chairman said, I agree with the chairman.
Chairman, if they come back, do you want that going back before the members, or? just-
Yes, yeah, it should come here, and he should come and give his spiel that he just gave again. I mean, and have a security plan in place. And I'm not saying I wouldn't give it back, I just need to see, yeah.
I fully understand that. Now, they just asked me, New Year's Eve is coming up. We can get the license.
Yeah,
And I
How-
understand we have to give you $20,000 and.
yeah, as long as the check is there, I mean, how long will that take?
Are you saying once the payment is made, then the summary suspension will be
Yeah,
lifted? Okay.
I mean, so they can come to Albany and get the certificate, right?
Or
Here.
to,
Oh, in New York, yeah, so you can come here and get it.
All right, so the minute we give you proof of 20,000, we're.
Yes. And if you have a problem, call me.
One last point, Mr. Commissioner Bradley, I just want to say, you have my word that whenever we come up here, whatever we need to do and do it the right thing, this is the last time you will ever see and hear about Rocco's Clam and Oyster Bar. You have my word on that.
Okay, thank you.
We'd like to hear about you being successful.
Thank you. No, like I said, this has been a major education, and I don't want to use that as an excuse. but
Not
thank
just for you, I think someone else is getting one too.
No, 100%.
I mean, the guy who visited.
No, 100%.
Thank you very much. Have a good holiday.
we're going to shift to Albany now. We have two matters up there. 2725. It's Beck's at Phelps Street Incorporated.
Hi, good morning. Board, my clients are on the way, but they're running late. There's another matter here that's ready to go now. If we could recall mine afterwards, please.
What number's that?
Okay, next item is 2762, Classic Wines Incorporated.
Morning, Chairman Bradley.
Hold on just for a second. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Aren't you from down here? Why'd you go all the way up there?
Attorney's office is located up here.
Oh, okay, all right.
William, go ahead.
So this is an agreed upon CNC,
Yes.
correct? What has he done to fix the situation?
I'm going to let my client speak to that for you.
Good morning, Chairman Bradley. We've, sorry, I'm a little, I'm a very honorable businessman, and we try to do most of our business in an ethical manner. Unfortunately, we ran into these violations at a period in time where our business was growing. So the first meeting we had with the SLA in New York City on February 26th was the first time we became aware of all the violations. And As of that date, we immediately implemented a whole restructuring of our company based on compliance. I'm actually my career before this was in compliance, so I was taken a little bit back by the fact that we had so many. So we appreciate the SLA's findings in the areas where we were lacking full compliance, and we immediately started structuring our whole business around around compliance. So we hired an accounting manager who would be directly involved with the COD delinquencies. I have a compliance manager who is daily involved in auditing our entire operation. So we feel that we, as of that date, the first time we met with SLA on February 26th, we feel as of that day, we became fully compliant with your rules and regulations, which, by the way, I very much respect.
Okay. So the civil penalties, $125,000 due by February 1st, and a 30-day forthwith suspension to commence on February 1st, provided during the suspension that you can develop and post wholesale and retail price schedules for the month of March 2017, ongoing recording and depositing of payments received from retailers, reporting to the authority retailers that are delinquent on their payments, and also allows you to engage in out-of-state activities pursuant to any applicable licenses and permits that you already have. The only reason this is being accepted by me is because it appears that you did have a significant compliance problem, and I think it just continued because you weren't aware of it. If I thought that there was any intent here, there would be a different story. So I'll accept on those terms.
Is Mr. Carlos Vasquez and Joseph Fernandez both still working for you?
Yes, they do.
All right. Yeah, I think some things just got away from you, so I'm going to concur with the chairman and under the terms he just described.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, you ready?
I could use a couple more minutes.
Okay, no problem. All right, we'll go back to New York. The next item is 2761, Gun Hill Liquor Warehouse Corp.
Good morning. Francis Buscemi, Mailer and Buscemi for the applicant. With me today is the applicant to my right, Eric Ikolov, and the manager that's on the application, Lenny Shamus.
We have
Yes.
some objectors, I take it? Come on up. Oh, actually, you don't need to come up, but I don't know where, because this is a recon, so I don't know whether he's even going to agree to reconsider it. I obviously will, because I voted for it the first time, but I don't know where he is.
Yeah, I'm willing to grant reconsideration.
Okay, then why don't you come up and give us your objection?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Commissioner, and the board. Thank you. I think we can, the board is sustained, or we can proceed.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. I am here before you today to let you know what.
Can you put your name and the store you represent on the record?
Yes, I'm so sorry. My name is Ann, and we represent TNY Wine Liquor, and against to the opening of Gun Hill Liquor. So what happened to us if Gun Hill opened? So I took the month of November for sales, and November was a good month. There was Thanksgiving in it, so sales was good. These are all valid data getting from our point of sale system. So in November, I have 21,000 of gross of sale. That's net of sale tax before expenses. Then after expenses, I have about close to $8,000 in profit. Majority of the profit come from a larger size bottle because we make a larger profit margin from a larger size bottle. So now we have $8,000 profit. What happened if Gun Hill is open? I look at Gun Hill open, and what I see is that there will be a drop of sale in our larger size bottle. I asked some of my regular customer, what happened if Gun Hill open? You know, there's a bigger store open across the street. They're probably going to sell $1 or $2 cheaper per bottle compared to mine, because they be able to afford cheaper inventory because they have more capital to buy both purchases, etc. And I was like, I'll go to the other store. Normal, human nature. I completely understand that. Just the point here is, if they open, how are we going to compete with them?
Well, see, and the reason I voted for it last time was your sales have tripled in 2 years.
Yes, but
They went from 308,000 to 845 or 43,000. Your T&Y Wine and Spirits, right?
Yes.
So that to me says that there is an increasing demand, that on top of the demand, the fact that they are going to be in a location next to BJ's, is that what it is? Yeah. I think, in my mind, I'm supposed to look at whether it's publicly convenient, if there's a public convenience and advantage to putting another store there. And to me, because of the store being there, as the BJ's, as well as their location to it, and your increase in sales indicating to me that there is a higher demand in that area for alcohol, that's what I was looking at.
I understand.
So are your sales going to be affected? They may. I don't know that I agree that they're going to be affected by over 50%, but that's not really something that I look at.
We were granted, we actually purchased a store and we got the license. So we are unaware of whatever changing. So at the change come by, look at my dad. He wasn't sharp enough to catch the trend, and unfortunately we missed out the opportunity to open next to BJ, and we very much regretted that. Now, if there is any slot open within that plaza, we would jump right in for the convenience of the shopper. So we're gonna go look at it and look at the surroundings, see what we can change to affect your decision.
Well, I can't. We can't wait for that. I mean, this is before us now. I'm just telling you what I voted for last time. But I don't know if you have questions.
Yeah, I understand the point here.
Just knowing that your decision today is detrimental to our business.
We're always fully aware of that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What, Mr. Is that it? Because we have to hear from them at this point. You can speak again if you want to after he speaks.
We will. Thank you.
Just quickly, I just want to bring up one issue which was just raised by T&Y, which you indicated what the sales numbers were, and I believe they're on par this year from their sales numbers to be doing in the area of $1 million. So, and maybe I didn't hear correctly, but if
that's a month.
If we're, well, $1 million is over 100,000.
Right.
We're in November.
Right.
That's one of the busiest months of the year.
Right.
For a store to come in that's doing $1 million a year, to tell you they did 20,000 in November is, I just don't know where that could possibly have come from.
No, I see what you're saying.
All right, but again, I don't want to belabor that issue. I just think it's very disingenuous. It's next to impossible for that to happen. Putting that aside, at the last board meeting of December 8th, as you're aware, Mr. Chairman, you voted to approve. Commissioner Ford voted to disapprove. At that hearing, I brought up the issue of the size of the store and asked if Commissioner Ford might reconsider if we did reduce the size on the store. To that end, I submitted a request for reconsideration with a new diagram. I laid out what we were doing. We reduced the selling area of the store from 2,625 square feet to under 1,400 square feet. It measured out to about 1,377 square feet. The store originally was 4,500 square feet. We reduced the overall size of the store to just a little over 3,500 square feet. So there's been a substantial reduction in the size of the store. there's been a substantial reduction in the selling area of the store space itself. I also supplied to you a case of matter of Robinson Wine and Spirits against the New York State Liquor Authority, which I feel is really right on point. And again, the issue is public convenience and advantage here. What's going to best benefit the public? In the Robinson case, there were 3 bulletproof out of the 4 stores. 3 of the 4 closest stores were bulletproof. They were all within 2,491 feet of the applicant. In our particular situation, 3 of the 4 closest stores are bulletproof. However, the 4 closest stores are quite a bit further. The 4th closest is 0.8 of a mile when you look at all of the 4 closest stores. The court determined that the license should be approved, that there's nothing to say that we'd be drawing customers from stores such as T&Y, which are small bulletproof stores. We already went through at the last board meeting our method of operation. Our method of operation is much, much different than what we have at the other surrounding stores. We're not going to be carrying the nips at all, that type of thing. We're specializing in American whiskeys, single malts. We're going to have a designated wine tasting area. This is fully open store, no bulletproofing whatsoever. So customers browse the entire area, selling area of the store. We have Mr. Shamus that specializes in the American whiskeys and single malts, that has experience in that field. We're going to be providing wine tastings as well as tastings of spirits in these categories that I just mentioned. Even with regard to wines, those everyday products, which we will be carrying some of the wines, such as Yellowtail, we don't even intend on, there will not be 750s. All those products will only be carried at 1.5 liter sizes. So the method of operation, it's apples to oranges. It's much, much different. We're not looking to do the type of business that the surrounding stores are doing. We are directly next door to BJ's. There's parking directly across from us, off-street parking directly across for our customers. Again, this is going to be more of a destination situation using BJ's. Now, BJ's largest category of product is grocery items, by far, grocery items. So it's like being next door to a tremendous supermarket is what we're doing. So it really adds to the convenience shopping for consumers of that area.
And Mr. Buscemi, just for clarification, because they had a submission. I don't know if you looked at their submission. Did you get it?
I didn't see that, no.
What we're seeing here is not gross sales, it's profit after cost of goods sold are subtracted. So that the numbers she submitted for gross sales are almost 81,000 for the month. That's correct, right? Okay. Yeah. So they weren't trying to mislead us at all.
Right, okay. I appreciate that. Again, and it's a good sales number, and it has been going up. We have population, which is extremely dense in this particular area. Population is showing, the projections are showing continued growth. You have median age of 37 years old. It's not a bunch of teenagers running around here. It's a good median age for consumers.
Let me cut you off for a second.
Yeah.
I've gone through all those issues before in my mind when I made my decision to deny originally. And as on record is, my decision to deny was basically came down to the size of the store based on the others. So now that you've agreed to reduce it out of a 4,500 total, originally you were 2,600 retail, now you're down to less than 1,400 retail.
Well, before you, do you want something else to say or no? No? Okay.
Okay. I'm willing to approve.
Thank you.
So it's
And I will approve under those stipulations as well.
limited to 1,400
Yes.
square foot retail? Okay.
Frank, do you have one more or 2 more items?
I have one more item.
All right. We'll call that before we go back to Albany then.
You're going to go back to Albany?
No, after yours. The next item is 2704. MS Wine Shop, Inc.
You do all the Best Buy stores?
Don?
No, I don't.
Yes, they do.
I didn't know there were any others.
Yeah, this is,
Didn't know there were any others.
yeah, this isn't a chain.
There are other
Chairman.
Best Buy stores?
No, I know, but
This
I'm,
is the DBA, yeah.
That might have been years ago. I don't know whether it was many, many years ago. It was one of those, like the Price Cutters. It was one of those trade association name things. I
Yep.
don't think it exists anymore. I don't-
all right, so the charges are all sustained.
Yes, the charge is sustained. One thing I want to point, this has been licensed for 11 years now. Over the 11 years that it's been licensed, it's suffered one violation, I believe, of sale to minor. I've had other situations where goods were brought in from out of state. I mean, it's a bad violation, no doubt. But it's something that happened. It shouldn't have happened. I have had other situations where it's happened, where licensees have paid severe, substantial penalties of $7,500, $10,000 for that kind of conduct. But it is a first-time event. It hadn't happened. There was no previous violations, as I said, in 11 years, other than the sale to minor.
This is a husband and wife?
Yes, it is, husband and wife.
What do you think?
I mean, I'd ask that they be given a second chance. I will state they have two children, two girls in college now. One's in law school, the other one's in college. And, without an income stream, the family's finished.
Give them another chance.
Okay, what's the dollar amount you're looking at? The improper conduct, Margarita, is both felony convictions, is that?
Yes, they did not have a certificate of authority, and they were collecting taxes, but not, so that was the basis of that.
Oh, so they only went after the corporation for the sales tax?
And they also went after the husband.
Oh, and the husband-
Mr. Lowe,
Represented he
the
was-
husband
And he
pled.
took a felony?
The husband pled.
Okay.
As I point out in my papers, the fact that there's a conviction against the licensee itself is not a bar. That's specifically stated in Section 126. So the company,
How much did they end up paying state tax back?
I believe total with all penalties, interest, everything, came to $1.5 million.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I would just note for the chairman and the commissioner that I believe the last full board meeting, there was a case that was handled by the Wholesale Bureau where the MS Wine Shop was the beneficiary of extensions of credit when it,
No, it shouldn't have been, right?
and on that case, as to the wholesaler, I believe it was a civil penalty, a significant civil penalty.
So, given the amount and the criminal activity, I'll go to 50,000.
I'm not arguing, Mr. Chairman. You won't hear an argument. I appreciate it. All right. Have a good holiday. All right. Merry Christmas, good holiday to you all. Thank you.
All right, we're going to go back to Albany and take care of the last item there, which is 2725 Bex at Phelps Street Incorporated.
Chairman Bradley, Commissioner Ford, good morning. My name is Sean May. I'm here on behalf of Bex at Phelps Street Incorporated. With me here is Becky Parks, the principal on the license, and also Terry Parks, her husband. Good morning. We're here on a CNC, Your Honor.
All right, so I'm going to make this short. Your offer's 5,000, but because of your history and the facts surrounding this, I'm willing to give you 3,000.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Commissioner Ford.
3,000.
Thank you very much.
1995, yeah, 3,000.
Thank you.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
All right, Donna, we're done with Albany and Buffalo. All right, the next item back to New York is 2685 and 2686, DES Restaurant Associates.
So this is the third sale tonight.
Yep.
I've been here since 8 o'clock this morning. I'm waiting for my attorney. He's not here. I don't see him here at the moment, you know.
Okay, we can recall. Go ahead.
Okay, so he'll be here around 11.
Okay, yep.
All right, then the next item is 2758, Joanne Zablocki.
Morning, Leonard Fogelman, attorney for the applicant, and this is Joanne standing next to me. She's had a wine store since 2011. She's really would like to have a liquor store. Her customers have been asking her to have a liquor store. She's been before you, and you've turned down her request for a liquor store before.
For 3 times, right?
Twice, but each one was a recon as well, so.
Well, I think the original one was a liquor store changed to, and then there was 2 more after that.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right, 3 times, yeah.
Her sales of wine have been increasing 20% a year approximately. The demographics of Greenpoint have gone up tremendously. The population has gone up about 8% from 2000 to 2010. The median income has gone up. She has a small 900 square foot store. The stores nearby do not carry what she intends to carry. As part of the submission I made to you, we actually provided you with a list of the spirits carried by 2 of the 4 closest stores, and we also provided you with a list of the craft spirits that my client would intend to carry if she's approved for a liquor store license, and they include 2, 4, 6, it's about 15 spirits from New York distilleries, as well as approximately the same number from other craft spirits manufactured in this country. These items are not available in the other stores. The other stores are mainstream liquor stores. Geographically, again, we provided you with a map showing that a majority of the nearby stores are south of her location, and there are no stores in Greenpoint north of her location.
You're telling me that, I'm looking at the map, and you're telling me all the way up to Commercial Street on the point there's not one liquor store?
There's nothing there. There's nothing north of me. Everything is below me.
Is that all residential up there?
It is mostly residential, yes. And there are production studios. Film crews, production studios.
Okay, I know where that is, yep. I mean,
She's been a Greenpoint resident, born and raised in Greenpoint, operating her wine store successfully. We've given you a petition from citizens of the neighborhood.
The problem isn't with her or her store, and it never was. Obviously, they gave her the wine license because they thought very highly of her, because really, I think there probably was a significant amount of arguing about whether anything should have been put here. So that is never really the problem. The problem is the proximity of all these other stores and the fact that someone, I've done it once, I think, but a board twice before me said no, and nothing really has significantly changed to the extent that would change that decision in my mind. And I realize Greenpoint is changing, and it has been changing. I don't know that it's changed enough to say that we need to put another liquor store 400 feet from another one.
I think my client would like to speak, but the one.
No, she's welcome to.
Sure. But I think what has changed is the fact that what she intends to carry would serve the public convenience because all of these
Well,
products
she,
are not available
yeah,
in
but
the
that was,
nearby stores.
that was presented to us in the initial application, what she wanted to carry. I mean, I was aware that she wanted to carry craft products. But I don't know that that's enough in this case. I mean, we're talking about 400 feet. That's a short distance.
Initially, when I applied in 2011, I was granted a wine license because primarily due to my age. When I applied, the one stipulation that was given me was to have an ID stamp.
See, I read that decision, and that's not entirely true. Your age certainly was something that was considered, but it was also the proximity of other stores, and that's very clear in the decision.
I understand that, but I also went back and looked at the archive media just to refresh my memory because it was 5 years ago. And 5 years ago, lots of things have changed in the neighborhood. As I've mentioned, as I've provided in my application, the income has increased by 46%, meaning there is a lot more income being available to be spent in the neighborhood. But these products are not being offered, so these people are going down to Williamsburg where these craft products are offered. And this has been said to me firsthand by my customers. In addition, there are no stores north of me, so there is nobody servicing those residents.
What's the size of your store?
It's about 900 square feet. And I currently focus on mostly wines. I mean, only wine, that's all I can sell right now. But I focus on small production, things that come from family-owned vineyards, a lot of local things I carry. And that is what I plan on doing with the spirits. Again, it's going to be craft stuff, things that are local.
I recognize all of that. My problem is your location. I mean, and it's not just the 400 square foot. The next closest one is 600. Square feet. It's 400 feet away from you, the first one. The closest store is 400 feet away. The next closest is 600 feet. So why we're here and why they require us to do this analysis is so that every corner doesn't have a liquor store. And right now, if we put you in there, it's going to be less than every corner.
Well, look at Park Slope. There's a liquor store every 2 blocks, and they're all doing the same thing, craft spirits, craft wines. Greenpoint is not that, and it's up and coming, and it's rising. If I'm not giving the opportunity, the next person's going to come in and take that opportunity.
They may, and if they're far enough away, they may take advantage of it, but you're not far enough away.
The 400-foot store is, and I've been making this argument, you could look at the Yelp reviews, the guy doesn't keep the store clean, everything is dusty. From what I know, he's not operating on normal hours. He opens when he wants to. He owns the building, so for him it doesn't matter.
That's all hearsay, though.
Well, I've seen it with my own eyes. I'm only a few blocks from there, and I've entered his store.
I mean, in this situation, we have 5 stores within 0.2 miles, which is really 3 blocks.
But that's all south of me. There's nothing north.
I understand that, but I would probably, if you want to move north, I probably would be fine with that, assuming there is not a liquor store up there, which is what your attorneys represented. I don't know that to be fact right now, but if that's the case, then I would recommend you move. But I can tell you that based on the reviews that have happened, and now this is the 4th one, and if you asked for recon on most of them, so now it's like the 7th time, you're not going to get a liquor store there.
Would you consider for me to
Unless someone closes. I'll make that caveat.
Would you consider just a craft spirits, like if I would stipulate not selling certain products that the other stores sell, is that something that you would consider?
Not right now, no. I wouldn't. I mean, if you come back and all this construction's done and someone shows me that the population has increased, 10 or 12%, then I certainly would consider.
Population has increased.
Yeah, but it's not.
8%,
It's not to where a lot of these buildings are not finished yet. But you're still. I still don't know that I would ever get over the distance.
You just gave somebody else a liquor license that was 0.3 miles.
Yeah, but you have 5 within 0.2. There's a big difference. 0.2 is 2 blocks. It's 20 blocks to a mile.
There's only 2 that are 0.2.
No, you have the 5 closest stores are 2.2 miles or under from you. At least that's what our measurements are.
400 feet, 600 feet.
$3.
You're surrounded by them. So I'm not going to vote to reconsider.
I vote to deny reconsideration as well.
Very much.
Thank you.
Have a good holiday.
The next item is 2767. It's a request for
That for me?
declaratory ruling, Diva Digital Signs.
Oh. I know who you are. Okay.
I'm Mark Kozlow, representing Southern Glazers Wine and Spirits.
So before you start, I recognize that I made an error 2 weeks ago. I'll let you explain it to me, but I already know it. So.
Well, let's put it this way. I apologize. I wasn't able to get here. So maybe had I been here, it may not have happened. But I spoke with Mr. Goldring prior to the meeting. Maybe let him go first. That might be helpful.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. In discussing, I was unaware for the reasons behind it. It's a recon, you said. I did speak.
Well, it's not really a recon. I put it back on.
Okay.
Because I recognized after approving this the way it was submitted that I had made an error in that what we approved was something that the authority has never approved before for obvious reasons, which was that the signage could be based, that the wholesaler could require the retailer to purchase an amount of product from them in order to keep those signs there, which isn't anything we would ever allow. But go ahead.
Okay, and Mr. Donahue and I spoke briefly about some of the underlying reasons. In further conversation, I hadn't been party to any of the materials submitted on behalf of the distributors. We're not interested in dictating how they do business with their retailer customers. We're in the subscription-based digital signage business. So we don't need to tie it to a purchase by their customer to them. And so really, we would like to have it be just considered as a piece of signage. We don't sell them outright. As I said, it is done through a subscription model. It has no secondary usage. If you look at the photos that were attached to the letter I sent, you can see that the screen is actually turned 90 degrees. So if you're going to try and watch football games on it, it would not be particularly entertaining. It has no real use other than as retail digital signage.
All right. I mean, so I personally didn't have any issue with the signage, and I don't believe you do either. What I called it back on for was the requirement that there could be a minimum requirement of purchase of product from a wholesaler. As long as that's eliminated, I'm fine with it.
Okay.
So I don't know where you are.
Yeah, I'm in complete agreement with the chairman. There could be no such requirement, so.
Thank you.
So there'll be no requirement of any purchase by any retailer that's a customer or that has these signs?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right,
And
the
that's,
customer in this is going to be the distributor.
right, okay. All right, you good? All right.
Thank you very much. Happy holidays.
Thank you, you too.
The next item is 2743 W&G Wines LLC.
Okay.
Hi, good morning. I'm Elke Hoffman for the applicant, and with me is Stephanie Goebel. She is the G in W&G Wines. And this is an application, this is a new application for a wine store at 346 Livingston. This is really in the heart of sort of the exploding downtown Brooklyn. It itself is proposed, the location is in a building that is nearing completion. It is adding 750 units and approximately 1,500 residents, along with 30,000 square feet of shopping retail space on the lower levels. When it's done, this will be like downtown Brooklyn's largest building. And W&G had a wine store in downtown Brooklyn. They already have a following. It's I've included some Yelp review, not the Yelp review, some letters from customers. They definitely had built a reputation as a more boutique store, more artisanal store than the others in the area.
But, so what, I guess I don't understand. They had a store, and it closed when?
June of 2015, last summer.
So now you want another one, and you're moving 430 feet.
Oh, no, it's much further than, it's around 1,600 square feet.
No, they're moving within 430 feet of the closest.
Yes.
So I don't understand why you would do that. If you're already in downtown Brooklyn, and I'm assuming, or at least from what indications I'm hearing are, you were running a successful business, now you want to move to an area that you're literally 400 feet from the next store.
Our landlord wanted to buy us out, so we ended up taking.
So why didn't you just move? Why didn't you just try to do a removal?
Well, I think they started looking for spaces, and it took so long. It's been closed for a significant period of time. The license expired, and rather than continue to renew it while it was still in safekeeping for such a long period of time, they were looking for spaces, and took a significant period of time.
And does the landlord have a store there now, in your old one?
And the store that, the one that is the closest, it's also not sort of a convenient walking line. It's across Flatbush Avenue. I know this area very well. I walk past these areas all the time on my commute, so I know this area very, very well. It's on the other side of Flatbush Avenue. It's a more mainstream store. It does have some boutique products. But because you can't really walk, it's not sort of as close as it might sound. This is also when you talked about the store, just analogizing to what you just did for B&J's, this is going into sort of a shopping area, a retail complex. They were approached by the developer because the developer wanted to offer this as an additional convenience and amenity that fits in nicely with the retail and shopping in this building that itself will house 750 people. There's another large complex. Well, there's two large complexes coming on this side of Flatbush Avenue where there are not very many stores, none of which are really sort of boutique and sort of in walking distance. The new store that opened that is closer is on the other side of Flatbush Avenue, sort of a diagonal walk away.
Which one is that?
It's the DBA is liquorstore.com. Cocoa Wines, DBA Liquor Store.
No, that's the one I'm talking about. That's the close. Oh, you're saying it's on the other side of Flatbush in the other neighborhood.
It's sort of on the other side of the neighborhood. It is also more mainstream. Yeah, if you look, it's sort of not, just down the block, 400 feet either. You kind of have to zigzag and cross a major thoroughfare, and there are new construction buildings going on that side of Flatbush as well. But this is on the other side, where there are, this building alone has 750 apartments going in. There's another apartment building just a block away. There are two hotels on this side of Flatbush Avenue.
On an aside question, is everything squared away with all your corporate principles, all the entities, the changes and all of that, people leaving, coming, going, is all that squared away?
We do have more investors that.
No, we've
we've done all
updated
that?
the
Okay,
list. Yeah,
okay,
so
okay.
in connection with the change, because I did keep the same corporate entity, some investors came out, some said they wanted out of the business, and some others came in. So the initial application, when we first submitted it, it was just the two of them while they were settling that bit. So now we've submitted additional questionnaires and a full-on list, and if there are any changes, we'll update it with the corporate change.
Thank you.
So we have,
They still had an operating account, they had a settlement from their landlord, so they didn't want to start with a new corporate entity and start from scratch, so there has been some shifting around in the ownership.
I just want to make sure the authority had all of that.
we have all the personal questionnaires, though, that we are
And we
required?
had submitted some
Okay.
additional ones after the initial filing. And they clearly have experience, they have following in the neighborhood, they're going to have.
How far is this from the store that you sold?
It looked to me like around 1,600 feet, and I think.
So is it one of the four, is the one that you bought?
It's not one of the four, and I'm not sure, I was actually looking, I'm not sure, I don't know if a public convenience hearing was held for that store. It was not, it opened more recently. So it was not one of the four closest stores when we submitted this. And I was trying to look at the hearing to see what came up, and I don't know if you held a public convenience hearing for that location, although it was not.
We had, no, every
Cocoa?
liquor store we do, yeah.
Not a transfer.
But it was not a transfer.
Oh, not a transfer.
But it was not a transfer. And
But
that's-
which one are you talking about is not a transfer?
The one,
It's not on the application.
Oh, the one.
SMS.
SMS.
SMS at 306 Gold.
And so what's the product line?
Even that one is a little bit more mainstream. I showed you some pictures of what that store became itself. It has like more bottles of Svedka, and there's a big liquor section. So I submitted pictures. That one isn't sort of as boutique as W&G was when W&G was in that space. So there's, of all of these stores, only one is sort of a boutique store, and that's closer to the water on Atlantic. The rest are definitely more mainstream.
306 Gold, you said?
306 Gold.
That was heard
SMS.
April, SMS, Uncorked Brooklyn, and it was held at full board meeting April 26th of this year.
I couldn't find it on the, when I was looking through. I was searching by serial number.
Yeah, and the listing that comes up with the, sometimes they get bumped together. You'd have to, it was heard, Joseph Levy, so if you happen to see his appearance, if you scroll down, sometimes the numbers don't get identified individually. Every now and then we have an overlap, but it was heard, I promise.
And, most of all of the stores south of Flatbush, one of the closest stores is a straight-up liquor store that sells lottery tickets. The other one is a newer liquor store.
No, I mean, the other ones I'm not really that concerned about. It's just that other.
Even Cocoa doing business as theliquorstore.com gives you a little bit of an idea of that the flavor of the store is very different than the proposed store.
And I note that they did not protest. Is this the pictures that are in the back here? Are they her old store? Yeah, you can come up.
I have a color version.
Oh, no, these are the other stores. I'm sorry. I see what you have. You have MS Wine. These are your the competitors. Okay.
Yeah, and there was photos of your original store in there as well, too.
Towards the back. I'm going to show them the color.
And can you just go through why she's doing that? Can you go through what product lines you're going to have?
We're going to have about 5 to 10% of New York wines.
How much?
About 5 to 10% of New York wines and artisanal spirits. And I guess our store, it's a little bit different. It's smaller production, more boutique wines, not the mass-produced stuff that, like Yellowtail or Barefoot.
Poor Yellowtail gets a bad rap in this place.
I think everybody knows it. Ernest and Gilo Gallio, one of those, it's going to be a smaller production. We're also going to have a smaller, we're not going to have as many SKUs. It's a little bit more curated.
Okay. Yeah.
Based on the fact that it looks like the stores around you, or most of them, except for one maybe, might be declining, but they seem to be holding their own, and also the fact that there seem to be no protest, and also assuming all your corporate entity paperwork is on file with us to be straightened out, I'm willing to vote for approval.
Will you commit to 10% in New York?
Yes, sir.
And it doesn't matter what New York, but it could be wine, spirits, just 10% of your SKUs New York?
Yes. Definitely. Even when I went to the other stores, they only have 1 or 2 New York wines. We usually at least have anywhere from 5 to 10 all year round, depending on, seasonal rosés or.
All right, given the build, it will be in a new commercial plus residential development, and the business model that she's proposing in 10% in New York products, plus she's obviously, and her partners are obviously very experienced in the business. I'll vote to approve on the 10%, as long as the 10% is part of the license.
Thank you, gentlemen.
10% it is.
Thank you.
All right. Mr.
You
Pilillo,
take yours back,
someplace?
Ms. Hoff? Yeah, you got it, right?
Yeah, I got mine back.
The other one, thanks.
We'll skip over Mr. Pilillo's items for now. The next item is 2759 Vapor Lounge and Bar Corp.
Morning, Chairman Bradley.
Hi.
We're submitting, pleading for 8,500. Raul Acosta owns the the bar across the restaurant across the street, El Mambi, he's never had a disciplinary. And since there were no summonses issued that day, he's 73, he would have corrected it had a summons been, he didn't know, or he would have changed security as he's done now, and ATAP trained every single person there.
I thought this was a little low. And I realized when I read it, he did not get a summons until the last one. But when you add it with the failure to conform,
He has taken remedial measures, and he has another business that's open 24 hours across the street. He's never had a sale
what's
to
the name of
minor,
that?
ever.
What's the name of that?
El Mambi.
Can you look that up, Jackie?
No disciplinaries or anything at El Mambi.
We generally don't carry him from place to place, because then in the reverse, if you had disciplinary on that place, you would want the board to consider it here.
Well, he runs a good establishment. This was a fluke. Had he known that this was happening, we would have changed the security staff, because clearly they didn't.
Well, the
they let
security
someone
isn't
in.
the only issue, it's also the DJ.
I actually filed this application, and initially it was going to be a restaurant lounge, and the DJ it was my mistake, because they told me they were going to do a DJ. I didn't add it to this application. It was my error, because that lounge it's a lounge.
What was the address of his other place?
El Mambi on this is 176. El Mambi's on 174 and Broadway. I'm sorry, I can give you the exact address if you want.
Okay.
I'll give you that license number.
We have a lot of.
Nonetheless, 3 sales to minors here. I was thinking 9,000. You're thinking higher than that.
Yeah, not a lot, though, but I just want to see if the other places had anything.
How do you spell the DBA? M-A?
For El Mambi?
I'm doing it myself.
No, it's El Mambi.
Yep. All right,
Hold
then
on,
you guys got it.
That's the name of it.
Three
El
of us looking
Mambi.
it up.
I'm just looking it up under his name.
But how do you spell it? E-L-M-A-M-B-E?
EL space MAMBI.
Maybe it's not.
All right,
I
I'll,
have it here. It is the serial number.
El Mambi Restaurant Corp.,
Yes.
4181 Broadway.
Yes.
All right.
He's never even been here. Because he's never had a problem with you guys. Like, he's not that type of operator.
go ahead.
No, this shows that there was a recent March inspection. El Mambi.
But no charge, we don't have, there's no charges prior to that, and we don't have any for this March inspection. Okay. All right, go ahead.
I'm going to go with 9,000.
I'll take that. Can you take that? And then if there is a change in method of operation, can you make sure that comes here, Tom?
We came
Or
in front
Jackie,
of,
whoever.
we went to Community Board 12 and they approved it. We're
Okay.
just I'm going to file the method of operation this week, the change.
All right, well, that's going to have to come in front of us.
Are you accepting the $9,000?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
And I'm on the next one too.
Oh, okay.
That's,
Hold on just for a second. Next item is 2760 for Beast Bar and Restaurant Corp.
yes.
It's a real bad start for them.
You know, she,
They got their license in September, and they're already here.
it was a fight at the bar that started, and they didn't, this is new to her. So she was formerly an accountant, now she's running this business. They didn't expect a fight at the bar between, I mean, Some things we can control and some things we can't. She didn't permit the location to become disorderly. By the time they got them separated and pushed them outside, disorderly, but they did their job. She knows she's supposed to call the police. She did what she was supposed to do. And
I know, but there are things you can do to avoid fights. Now, maybe this is a completely isolated incident, and maybe I'll never hear of her again. But she's had her license for, at the time, she didn't even have it a month. And a fight breaks out where bottles are getting thrown. I'll accept this penalty, but if she comes back here in another month, there's going to be ramifications.
And the summonses that were issued, there was one today, it was dismissed this morning in criminal court. She's really on top of this. This won't happen again.
I'll accept 1,500.
All right, you all done? All right.
Thank
We're going to recall.
Have a good holiday.
We're going to recall 2685 and 2686, DES Restaurant Associates.
It's okay. I know you're on a time constraint.
Good morning. My name is Frank Palillo. Just introduce yourself.
My name is Des Dillon.
What's your name?
Des Dillon.
Oh, Des Dillon.
Offer before you.
I'll accept. Have you been in this business your whole life, I'm assuming? So how is this suddenly happening to you now?
The answer is that there was an individual there who was selling, who shouldn't have been selling. We've since removed the individual. On top of that, we've met with, what was his name, Shaw? Who's walked through our security procedures and made certain recommendations, which we've implemented at this point.
Okay. I'll accept.
I'll accept 10,000.
Thank you.
All right. The next item is also Mr. Palillo's, 2679, 28 SG Hospitality Group. I waited until you started walking away, and then I called you back. So.
That back end is the most attractive. Good afternoon again. This is unfortunate because it's a licensee who attempts to maintain order in the premises by not overcrowding it, and unfortunately, people do stand out on the street. I think in all fairness, they probably weren't the most friendly of people. It was a...
So what are they doing about the lines? Because that's
Yeah.
obviously what, or are they not lines or just telling them?
They're not lines, it was a particular evening, with a particular performer, and the line became very big. It doesn't happen regularly, it was this one.
Was that 50
It
cents?
wasn't a small change thing, no. It wasn't small change, sir.
All right, I'll accept.
I'll accept 1,500.
Thank you.
No, well, he seems to be the topic today.
The next item is 2768, Mahopac Wine and Liquor LLC.
Wait. Very last one.
2768?
2768. It was an over item.
Way down at the bottom. Should be the last one in your pile.
My name is Danny Lampropoulos, and I'm the owner of the proposed location in Mahopac Wine and Liquor to be located at 954 South Lake Boulevard.
I got it.
Thank you for your time.
I'm Patty Lampropoulos, his spouse. I'm here for just moral support.
Are there any objectors here? Nope.
I'm excited to bring,
Yeah, go ahead. Yep.
I'm excited to bring a new store to the area and choose my location because it is touristic and destinational. Firstly, my store is conveniently placed for the public. I have submitted proof of this via exhibits, photos in Exhibits A. It is right across from Mahopac Lake, which is a major touristic attraction in the summer, early spring and late fall months. Parking is directly in front of my store. My store is comprised of a strip of stores. that consists from Louis Ice to a Chinese fast food place to the Putnam Times, which is a local newspaper that puts out a free local newspaper in the area, a nail salon, a hair salon, a ballet school, a deli. There is also a shopping center directly across from my store, proposed location, and that has various restaurants in it, Carvel, a bank, bakery, a real estate office, ice cream store named Carvel. This makes my area a destination location. People come here specifically to shop, dine, or run errands, and my store would service the high traffic. I have also touristic element from the lake across from me. The activities during the summer months and in the late spring and early fall months are parades, marathons, street fairs. There's cigar parties on the lake. There's also cinema on the lake, which people drive their boats to the marina there, dock, and watch the movie from the large screen that's put on the marina in the front there by the lake.
Can you tell us what your product mix is going to be? If there's
Sure.
anything
Sure.
specific or special about it?
You don't want me to get into the, okay, the product mix, I have submitted Exhibit C, which is a short list of over 20 wines and spirits to be offered. That is just a small sample of the higher-end liquors and wines that I plan to bring to the area that are currently not available in the other local stores.
And did you have anything else you want to add, or?
Yeah, I am also going to create it's going to be a small, upscale, boutique-style location, and this ambiance will be achieved by ceramic wood-looking tiles, the new LED lighting with dimmers that was just recently installed. It's going to give it that upscale boutique appearance. I'm also working with a sommelier who will come in and offer to my clients tips on how to pair the different wines and spirits with their social gatherings, whether it be barbecues, dinners, or other affairs that they may have.
How much of your 1,250 square feet are going to be retail?
We have a section of a storage area in the back.
Yeah.
I believe the storage area is approximately 400 square feet.
So talking about, what, 800, 900?
800, but there's also a very large bathroom in the back of that storage facility that encompasses that 1,200 square feet. So roughly, I would say it's about 700.
You're not on Route 6, right? You're off of Route 6?
I'm on South Lake Boulevard, correct. Exhibits B and B1 show two maps that will that show the high volume of residences in the area that will support my store and will not interfere with the clients from any other surrounding stores. From Sycamore Road, which is directly across, it leads into like you might look at it on the map. It looks like a little island.
Yep.
On Lake Mayapack, there's over 109 residences approximately there that will support and that will have direct access to my location. To the east of me, from High Ridge Road, all the way north to Croton Fall Road, there are numerous residential neighborhoods there that will also support and will not interfere with any of the clientele of any of the other local stores which are further away.
Is Putnam Wine and Liquors, is that in a plaza on Route 6, off of Route 6, or is that right on the road there?
It's in a plaza. There's a couple of other stores there. I think there's a seafood place, a seafood restaurant, where you can wine. I think you can dine in it, and you can also purchase seafood from them.
Okay.
So they have a park.
And then Millstone is in Lake Plaza, and Sterling Cellars is in, is the Mahopac Village Center a plaza as well?
Yes, Millstone is in a complete shopping center. The biggest attraction there is a Kmart.
Okay.
Right next to them.
Yep.
There is a CVS pharmacy and also a very large supermarket. I believe it's ShopRite or King Cullen, I'm not sure. They recently changed the name to it, as the supermarkets have. Sterling is also
I see. Okay, thanks.
Sterling is also part of a large shopping center, and their store, they have high attraction there. They have Chili's, they have, Advance Motorsports, Planet Fitness just opened up right next to them. They're taking now applications for membership, gym membership, and they are moving equipment in, as I saw the other day. I'm not sure what their expected date of opening is, but they are in a very
Ready?
large.
Okay.
I think that we're prepared to vote, by the way. I think that your location will meet the public convenience and advantage based on the size of your footprint staying. I'm going to cap it at 700. Based on numbers you gave me, I'm going to keep it at 700 retail. I'm willing to approve. I'm looking at the other stores in the area, and they seem to be at least holding their own, so I vote to approve.
Yeah, I'm going to vote to approve as well. The closest store, which is 0.3 miles away, is in a shopping center. It's had significant increases in sales since 2012. And the next two closest, the second closest which is 1.7 miles away, has very consistent sales, and the third closest sales have been increasing as well. So based on that and based on your location, which appears to be in a commercial area right outside a tourist attraction, which is the lake, I'll vote to approve. And under the stipulation that Commissioner Ford, that your retail, the size of the retail space is 700 square feet. What you do with the rest of it is, you know, you could use it for storage, office, whatever.
Okay, can I
Yes,
ask a question?
yep.
I'm very new to this,
Mhm.
okay? I said approximately 700. Can we just, I beg of you to just increase that to 800, because I'm really not sure of the
Yes.
dimensions. Is
Yes,
that-
yep,
Would that
yeah.
make too much of a difference?
Yeah, and if you get back there and you find out that you can't do 800, then come back and talk to us.
Okay, okay.
But 800 on the license retail. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You too.
Happy holidays. Thank you.
All right, the next item is 2688 World Class Enterprises, Inc.
Yeah.
That's it, we're done?
You're going to hear, you'll get something in the mail.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah. What number was that, Tom?
2688.
Found it. Sorry about that. Are you the owner?
I'm the co-owner.
Can you put your name on the record?
My name is Elizabeth Chung.
You want to be suspended today?
Actually, we want to change our offer to 6,000 civil penalty.
Okay. I'll accept that. That's what it is.
Okay, yeah, well.
No, I mean, that's, if you weren't, normally your second sale, actually, no, normally your second sale would be, yeah, I guess 6,000.
Okay.
6,000 or no.
But you know, eventually you lose your license over this.
Of course, we had an employee that made a terrible mistake. He's been let go already, and we have fully trained everyone we have on staff.
Okay, I'll accept.
Thank you. I can go downstairs. I have the check. I can go downstairs and pay now. Can I?
So what's that?
She has the check.
I have the check. It's the certified check. I was told to bring it with me. I didn't know if.
Okay, why don't you wait over here for a second, we'll take care of it. All right, the next item is 2742, CFA Holdings EH LLC.
Attorney Flynn is not.
He's
here
right
yet.
there.
Right behind
Oh.
Look at that, he's like Spider-Man.
Bring it up the rear.
Yeah, I'm not nervous. Good morning.
Good morning.
This is a licensing matter which I believe is up here because of two issues. There was an issue with regarding a fence and whether or not there was a safety issue, and then also an issue with regard to the zoning on the backyard area. We had previously submitted to licensing along the way a letter from the zoning attorney with a copy of the approvals from the town with regard to the outdoor area. And we also provided a copy of the approval of the fence. There was a section of the fence that afterwards the town wanted removed so they would have better access.
Do I have that?
This is the area outside in question. Sorry, just to make sure I understand. That's the backyard area.
There's two outdoor areas.
This one,
And there's another one with a bar.
is that the other one?
No.
These two? That's, oh, there's. Here, it's the same area?
That is the same, yeah. That's the front of the building, on the back side of the building, the larger patio with the bar. I have a picture on my phone.
I mean, I got an email from the town, and do we have the approvals? Because I haven't seen them. Do you have them? And then I was just handed by council a rezoning law. And I'm assuming this is related to you, wherein it says that, in addition, the applicant has proposed to restrict the future uses of the property and to eliminate the nightclub use.
No, that, we went ahead and got the zoning changed from CI to neighborhood business. And we said if we ever went to a retail use, we would abandon the nightclub use there. Not that we were agreeing to change the use. It's in the zoning adoption, it says that.
That's what I have.
Yeah, that's 2009. No, it's only if we stopped operating as a restaurant / nightclub that we couldn't go back to that use.
And what,
This is the complete letter from the zoning attorney breaking it down and all the approvals and attachments to the first.
then why is he still when he's asked about it by our lawyers, he's sending emails that say that that the town is not in agreement with this use and that they're going to oppose it.
Right, here's the problem, he's the new council, they change councils out there all the time, and he's saying that now they're gonna oppose it. But meanwhile, he has the approvals, but he wants to oppose it. He wants to try and get.
I'm just looking to see the email, that's why.
Well, he says, the initial objection was saying the outdoor use was not legal. The outdoor use has been legal since before zoning, like in the 40s and 50s. That bar that's been outside has been there. We purchased the building in 1998. And then he said, oh, you can't serve people outside. And the zoning attorney drafted a 14-page letter. I mean, we have the zoning approvals for that 5 different ways. There's no issue there.
we voluntarily got the zoning changed on the property in 2009, just in case we had a retailer who wanted to come in and buy the property or something and do something, but we only agreed.
You looking for the email, Chairman?
I got it.
Okay.
I mean, he sent me.
Does he say it has been changed, Mr. Chairman, or that it's his intention to have it changed?
He sent me, I'm looking right now to see he sent me a document, I just want to look at it.
I have it up on a bigger screen if you need it.
He said, if you look at the bottom of the last page of what he sent me, and I'm going to go look at it in a minute, the town's records clearly indicate that the current site plan restricts the property to no outside dining or serving, thus prohibiting an outside bar without coming in for site approval first. Do we have that approval?
This is where we're at a rub. He's saying that the 2000.
This is where he's going down into 2016. This is where he says at the bottom, maximum 218 people inside, no outside dining or serving. I mean, but he's going through, it's a property site plan, well, since this goes back to, if you want to go back up, he's providing all the information back to the 90s, 80s.
And there's always been a place there.
Yeah.
So when did it change that there's no outside?
According to us, it hasn't changed.
It's never changed.
He's saying.
But you don't have site plan approval. Site
Yeah,
plan
well,
approval.
sure, we have this whole letter from the architect, then we have all the C of Os. I guess this is the survey of the map that was given to the town, and then this is the attachment where it goes into the resolution. Here's your finding and objectives, and so on and so forth.
I can show you a survey from 2000 that shows the outside area with the bar on it.
Yeah, but even this, Terry, even this says, in order to mitigate and I'm reading the findings and objectives again. And this is based on the rezoning. You're telling me that this is the rezoning he did. It hasn't been rezoned since this. This went from commercial business to neighborhood business. And in the bottom of it, it says, in order to mitigate the pre-existing status of the nightclub use and other potential negative impacts that this rezoning may have on the community, the applicant has proposed that the premises described, and then he puts the number in there, rezoned herein to neighborhood business shall not be utilized as a nightclub as of the date when all of the following had occurred. The rezoning of this premises to neighborhood business the rezoning of this premise to neighborhood business has become final and effective. I'm assuming that's happened. 2, all government approvals and permits have been obtained to use the property for a use that is permitted within the neighborhood business zoning district.
That's a change of use.
Yeah,
So that's when we go to change.
First of all, it's not even a nightclub, it's a restaurant, and.
Well, we've had this argument before. It's a nightclub.
I haven't had this argument, but okay, go ahead.
He calls it a restaurant, but he's got DJs, he's got bands. I don't know how, when I go out to dinner, I don't go to places like that.
Well, it's two buildings within one. There's a restaurant on one side, there's a nightclub on the other.
So you're saying that this means only that if you ever decided to sell the property, could never be used as a nightclub again?
Not to sell, if we decided to rent it out, let's say to, Trader Joe's or something like that, we would have to get permission we can't just go ahead and do that. We have to get permission from the town, assuming they approve
From the
that.
town?
Bring it on, you can
Well-
ask the town guy.
Well, why can't I just make it conditional on all these approvals?
Conditioned for what?
The outside use. I don't have the inside use they clearly don't have an issue with. It's the outside use that they're complaining about.
We have approval for that.
The problem is I got an email that says you don't.
So wait, so, just 1 second.
I'm not saying he's lying to me. Can I do that or no? No?
do anything you want.
Yeah, but I already have documents to show the outdoor bar being.
Then it would be a slam dunk with it.
Well, and the only reason this is happening is he doesn't have the best history in the world. That's the only reason this is occurring, because if I go do this, they've had significant problems out there, not maybe at your place, but they've had significant problems in East Hampton, and with places that are set up like this place. And now I'm hearing from the town that the outside use is not appropriate from their town attorney.
Listen to me. Excuse me one second.
Yep. We're going to take a minute and go outside, so. That's what we have.
In 1994, it says, site plan approve the changes for outdoor dining.
I know, but you also have to understand, you're telling me that, and I'm not telling you you're wrong, but this thing is written so poorly that,
That's the adoption letter from the town.
no, I know, but it's written so poorly that it could mean exactly what you're saying it means. I'm not going to deny that, but when I read it, that's not the way I read it. So it could mean the other thing.
So you need me to get a letter from the zoning board clarifying that we haven't abandoned that use, that.
Yeah, if you get something from the town that says that legally, that's what this means, and then that the outside is permissible, then it's a no-brainer. And I'm not saying I wouldn't do it anyway, because they haven't really given me anything to say. Right now, it's such a gray area to me, because nobody's really been clear to me. You guys have been clear, but I can't just take you on your word, because he's been sending us emails. So yeah, if you get something from the town that clears that up, that would be extremely helpful.
So we'll put it over to the 4th?
Yes. Thank you.
Actually, I'm going to, can we do it the meeting after?
The
Yes.
19th.
The holidays?
Yes.
The 19th.
Thank you very
Thanks.
much.
Thank you.
So save that.
The next item is 2720, Haverstraw Wine and Spirits, Inc.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner, Council Marsico, Council Donahue. James Wanderstock from Sherritt O'Neill. This matter is on for the first time. Basically, our client is a sole principal. It's a small minority business.
So here's the problem, is the husband on the application now as a manager?
Right.
So is he now?
Well, he works there during the day.
No, but he clearly was running the business, right? I mean, that's what this charge is that we were saying he's running the business and you're ready to plead to it. So if he's going to continue at least to take this significant role in the business, he needs to be on the application as a manager. So you need to amend the application. How did we get this? Do you know?
There was a complaint.
Really? All right, I'll accept the 4,500 with the caveat that he's required to file an amendment to the application.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next item is 2665, the Guild of Liquidus Intent LLC.
Must have been a competitor? No. Because you got to go and we can figure this out.
Good morning again. This is a young couple, got a place about 4 or 5 years now. They filed an application with the authority to add their sidewalk cafe. The application was approved by the authority prior to issuance of the sidewalk cafe. The season went out. They hit the fall and she had a baby and the thing kind of dropped, to be honest. So the last step was complying with the condition of approval.
Oh,
They
all
didn't
right.
do it.
Okay, I'll accept the letter of warning. That's what it is, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks.
Letter of warning.
All right, the next item, 2684, is 234 East 4th Street Restaurant Corp. I didn't say it was yours.
234 East 4th Street?
Yes.
Nobody here. I'll accept the,
Accept 8,000.
Chairman?
Next item is 2749, Downtown Restaurant Group LLC. 2749.
oh, they already had it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the original complaint.
So decision after hearing small operational things like blocked exits and a blown out light bulb and a gas tank that wasn't chained to the floor in the basement. And I'm asking the premises are closed. I'm asking for a pretty reasonable fine.
The,
Of the holiday season, I'm sorry.
did they pay the other fine?
No, they did not, and the reason is that the place is closed.
Oh,
And
okay. So why don't we
You know,
just
in the
cancel
spirit of the
them
holidays, they should pay that fine.
But I haven't received it either. I don't know where the letter went, but I haven't received it either. The client asked me for a copy of it. I don't have it either, so I don't know where.
off? So why don't we just cancel and bond it?
He doesn't want a cancellation, sir. I've been telling him to cancel and bond. He doesn't want a cancellation. We actually had this conversation last time. About a month ago, 2 months ago when we were here.
System not working.
I mean, it's minor things, a
Yeah.
blown out battery, it's a an empty fire extinguisher not hung on a bracket. I mean, this isn't it's not a bad place.
4,000.
4,000.
That includes the prior, right?
No.
Thank you, sir. Speak fast
As he
enough.
walks away.
Fast enough, maybe it works.
But if
I
they
don't-
don't pay
yes,
that shortly,
that
they're going
is
to get,
definitely
if they don't
it for
pay that
you.
shortly, they're going to get canceled anyway. Does he know that?
I'll see what they do. Merry Christmas to all.
You too.
All right, the next items are 2683, 2689, and 2690, Butterfield 8 WP LLC.
This is an offer of compromise to resolve the charges.
I'll accept.
12,000 accept. We're in the holiday spirit today.
Mr. Flynn, that other item you signed in on, that'd been taken off because it was resolved at the last meeting, the offer of 5,000 in surrender?
Yeah, I thought it was, but I
Yeah,
signed in.
there was a glitch in the system, it was running it
Everyone
back
have
on.
a very Merry Christmas. and
You
Happy
too.
New Year.
See you.
All right. The last item I have signed in is 2757. It's a request for declaratory ruling regarding the operation of Instacart.
Good morning, Noreen Healy, Phillips Nizer. This is on for declaratory ruling. My client is Instacart. It's a tech-based company, and it seeks permission to set up an internet platform by which licensed retailers can sell their products. And Instacart would also like to provide a service of pickup and delivery of the product.
So just so we can cut to the chase, this is very, very similar to what Drizzly does.
Yes.
And the retailers pay the marketing company. They select all the products to be sold, the retailers do, and they determine the price, they determine whether they accept or reject the order,
Yes, Chairman.
and they also receive all the proceeds. How are your clients getting paid?
Delivery service by the company, by the retailer, and by the consumer. Consumer will pay for each
For the delivery?
Yes,
Directly?
yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
My one question, are all the delivery folks over 21?
Yes, and they will all be trained. Mhm.
So the only, and so they'll all be trained on the compliance with the
Compliance.
not delivering to underage people, that kind of thing?
Age verification, not to deliver to intoxicated person, they'll be trained, and if they can't get verified on the age over 21, or if the person appears to be intoxicated, they won't deliver. They'll take it right back to the store.
And then the only other question I had was, can any retailer use this, or are you trying to limit it to certain regions? Is this open to any liquor store?
It's open to everybody, yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right, I'll accept the business model as presented.
I accept it as well.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Happy holiday.
You
Happy
too.
New Year.
Happy holidays.
We don't have any other items signed in, so we can move on to the rest of the calendar if you want. That was the summary suspension.
Oh, that's right, all right, okay. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
All right, Commissioner, get your sneakers on, because we're going to run.
All right, first item is 2662.
Cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
2663.
8,000.
8,000.
2664.
We haven't paid, what, 3,000? So
Not yet.
10,000.
does that include the 3,000?
No, it should be separate.
It's separate.
All right.
Yeah, right.
3,000.
2666.
2,000. Accept, I mean.
Except plus the 2,000 that they owe, right?
Do you want 2666?
There's no
There's a sale
offer.
to minor.
It's a default.
It's a default.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go back one. What was the one before that?
It was 2664.
That was a two-sale to minor, that's,
Oh, that's the one I didn't get. Okay, so that 2664 is 8,000. I'm sorry.
okay.
You okay with that, Commissioner?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
2666, I have 10,000.
2667.
I accept.
Accept.
2668 and 2669.
Accept.
Accept.
2670.
Accept.
Accept.
2671.
Accept.
2672,
Accept.
Accept.
2673 through 2675.
Revoke and bond.
Revoke and bond.
2676.
This is one that we suspended.
Revoke and bond.
Dismiss charges.
Oh, I'm sorry, I gotta go through it. You're right, Jackie. Sustain 1, 2, 3, and 4. Dismiss 5 and 6. Sustain 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, and revoke and bond.
Read.
2677.
Accept.
Accept 2,000.
2678.
3,000.
3,000.
2680.
I don't have that one. What is it?
Here you go, remixing.
2,500.
Yep, accept.
Accept.
2681 and 2682.
Cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
2687.
Accept.
Accept. No adverses.
2691 and 2695 through 97.
Accept, cancel, and bond.
Accept, cancel, and bond.
2692.
I got counter at 4,000. And send their check back to them.
Yeah, counter 4,000.
2693.
Dismiss 1 and 2.
Dismiss 1 and 2.
2694.
1,500. Accept.
Accept.
2698.
Accept.
We only had it for like 1 week. 3,000 accept.
2699.
Accept.
Accept.
2700.
Accept.
Accept.
2701.
Accept.
Accept 6,000.
2703.
Accept.
5,000 accept.
2705.
Revoke and bond. Sustain 1, sustain 2.
2705.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sales a minor, here you go.
I got it. What happened to 2704?
We did that earlier on. That was like the 6th item we did this morning.
Oh, right, I remember it. I didn't revoke and bond. Cancel and bond. They surrendered their license, right?
Yep.
Yeah, cancel and bond.
Okay. 2706.
Cancel for the record.
Cancel for the record.
2708.
Accept.
1,000 accept.
2712.
Sustain 1 and sustain 2, letter of warning.
Letter of warning. Okay, just doing some renovation.
Who did this?
Mr. Amarado.
Why is he going here?
I think there were some charges that weren't, or was it?
No.
It was just, I think
27
he withdrew a charge at the hearing
All right.
or something.
2713.
Dismiss 1, dismiss 2, sustain 3, and 4. $750. I hope they get their fire extinguishers fixed.
750.
2714.
Sustain 1, $500.
Sustain 1, 500.
2715, 2716.
Counter with 20,000.
20,000 counter.
2717.
Accept.
Accept.
2718.
Sustain 1, 3,500.
It says you're underage and he answers whatever. Just 3,500.
2719.
Revoke and bond.
2721.
Counter 1,030 days suspension.
1,030 days, almost 4 years.
Yeah.
2722.
Accept.
2,500 accept.
2723.
Accept.
Accept.
2724.
Cancel and bond, accept.
2726.
Counter 12,030 days suspension.
12,000 plus 30 days.
2727.
Accept.
Accept.
2728.
Cancel with a $1,000 civil penalty.
Accepting the offer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Accept.
2729.
Accept.
Accept.
2730.
Accept.
Accept.
2731.
What's a TS license?
Seasonal beer.
Accept.
Accept.
2733.
What is that? I don't have that one.
Trade name.
I'll accept.
Accept.
2735.
Accept.
Accept.
2736.
Accept.
Accept.
2737.
Accept.
Accept.
2739.
Accept.
Got a rash of workman's comp.
Yeah, that's.
2740.
Accept the letter of warning.
Letter of warning. Accept.
A lot of those were from Lisa Ogden. Did a whole batch of those. That's what.
I was wondering why there's so many.
2744.
Sustained charge. Oh, what was 44? I don't know that one either.
ABT cards.
Oh, accept.
Letter of warning. Accept. Letter of warning. Accept.
2746.
Sustained charge 1. Is this the fourth one?
Third time, actually, yeah.
Jesus, another spill here.
416.
10,000.
10,000.
2747 and 2748.
Accept.
Accept.
2751.
6,000 because they have a very spotty history. It's sold while they were unlicensed.
Yeah, yeah.
6,000.
6,000 it is.
2752.
Sustain 1, dismiss 2.
Sustain one.
10,000. Because it's their third books and records in 2 years, which is just unbelievable.
What did you say? Sorry.
10,000.
10,000.
2753.
Sustain 1, 2, and 3, 3,500.
1, 2, and 3, and 35.
2754.
Accept.
Accept.
2755 was withdrawn. You don't have that right now. 2756.
So dismiss charge 2 as the court ordered, sustain the remaining 67 charges, and reimpose cancel and bond.
Opposed, cancel, and bond.
2763.
Marguerite, this is yours, right?
Yes.
Is this strong or no?
The over occupancy would be, I'd have to show that circumstantially because there's no head count and the victim was injured outside.
Okay.
My theory is that they allowed the two to go out at the same time. That was my.
All right, I'll accept.
Accept.
2764.
Accept.
2765.
I'll accept only because Ms. Ogden sent an investigator out there and they confirmed that the store is open and running currently, so I will accept the 1,500.
2766.
Accept.
I just have two other items. One is the approval of the minutes I sent to you. There's 2 meetings of minutes I sent.
Yes, I approve.
And the last thing, I believe there's a request from the Deputy Commissioner of Licensing for approval to issue a miscellaneous permit.
Yeah. I
So-
need approval for you to, I can issue a miscellaneous permit.
And the miscellaneous permit would be for a wholesaler
For a 6-week period.
for a 6-week period for their solicitors to maintain trucking permits for that, or to deliver.
Yeah, so they can deliver products while they acclimate to the e-licensing system.
Okay. So we're approving issuing a miscellaneous permit to a wholesaler so that their solicitors can extend the period of time for their permit to deliver product to the retailers for a 6-week period while the wholesaler gets acclimated to the new e-licensing system and resubmits all the required paperwork for their solicitors.
Okay.
So I approve that.
I have no other business before me here.
Then we are adjourned. And